as if a part of him was missing, as if he needed Jungkook close just to breathe properly. The thought sent shivers down his spine. Something wasn't right. And deep down, he knew. Jungkook felt it too. 3 nights passed. Jungkook didn't return. Taehyung should have moved on. Should have told himself it was just one reckless night, one fleeting moment. But the longer Jungkook stayed away, the worse it got. The bond wasn't fading. It was growing stronger. Taehyung could feel him, like a whisper in the back of his mind. A presence that never fully disappeared, and it was driving him insane. By the 4th night, he couldn't take it anymore. He had to find Jungkook, even if it meant walking straight into the darkness. The night air was cold, but Taehyung barely felt it. His heart pounded as he walked through the deserted streets, searching. He didn't know how he would find Jungkook, only that something inside him was leading the way, an invisible pull, like a thread wrapped around his soul, tugging him forward. It had been 4 days since that night in the alley. 4 days since Jungkook had bitten him, changed him in ways he didn't understand. And with every passing hour, the ache in his chest grew stronger. Where are you? Taehyung wasn't even sure if Jungkook wanted to be found. But that didn't matter. He needed to see him. Needed to know if he was feeling this too. If the bond between them was real, or just a cruel trick of fate. Jungkook was suffering. He sat on the rooftop of an abandoned building, staring out at the city, his hands trembling at his sides. 4 nights. 4 nights of fighting the bond, of forcing himself to stay away. But it wasn't working. No matter how far he ran, Taehyung's presence clung to him. His heartbeat was a constant echo in Jungkook's mind. His scent was burned into his senses. His blood. Jungkook gritted his teeth, his fangs aching at the memory. He had tasted him, marked him, and now he couldn't break free. The bond had settled deep, threading their existences together like 2 stars trapped in the same orbit. And the worst part? Taehyung was looking for him. Jungkook could feel him drawing closer. The pull was too strong, too relentless. Jungkook knew he should run, should disappear before Taehyung got too close. But his body betrayed him. Instead of fleeing, he stayed rooted in place, waiting. Because the truth was, he wanted Taehyung to find him, even if it destroyed them both. Taehyung found him. He wasn't sure how he knew where to go, but his feet carried him to the abandoned rooftop, the night stretching endlessly above them. And there, bathed in silver moonlight, Jungkook. He stood at the edge of the roof, his back turned, his black coat billowing slightly in the wind. But Taehyung felt him react the moment he arrived. A sharp inhale, a flicker of tension in his shoulders. He knew. Slowly, Jungkook turned, and Taehyung's breath caught. Jungkook looked different, pale and exhausted, like he had been fighting a war within himself. His dark eyes burned with something raw, something hungry. But the moment their eyes met, it was like the world snapped back into place. Taehyung's pulse quickened. Jungkook exhaled shakily. Neither of them spoke, because they both knew. There was no escaping this. No running from whatever had formed between them that night. It was real, and it was consuming them. Jungkook swallowed hard, his voice hoarse. You shouldn't have come. Taehyung took a step forward. You knew I would. Jungkook's jaw clenched. You don't understand what's happening to you. Then explain it. Taehyung's eyes searched his. Because I feel you, Jungkook. I feel like I'm losing my mind, and I know you do too. Jungkook exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. It's the bond. Taehyung frowned. Bond? Jungkook hesitated. When a vampire drinks from a human, sometimes, if the connection is strong enough, it creates a bond between them. A link that ties their souls together. Taehyung's breath hitched. You mean, you're mine now? Jungkook's voice was quiet but absolute. Taehyung's heart slammed against his ribs. Jungkook took a step closer, his expression unreadable. I shouldn't have bitten you. His fingers curled into fists. I should have let you walk away. But you didn't. Taehyung's voice was steady. Jungkook inhaled sharply. No, I didn't. Silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken words. Then, Taehyung reached out, his hand brushing against Jungkook's wrist. The same way he had that night. A spark jolted through both of them. Jungkook sucked in a breath. Taehyung swallowed. Then don't run from this. Jungkook's expression wavered, something fragile flickering behind his dark eyes. And for the first time, he didn't pull away.